we will discuss the mesh network. Mesh configuration or mesh network. Okay. So mesh network में, as we already discussed, कि the VSAT can communicate with each other. So they have to generate high power, and the networking is also complicated. Okay. So like suppose, sorry, these are the earth stations, VSAT earth stations. Okay. So this can communicate with this. Okay. This can communicate with this. Similarly, this can communicate with this. Okay. And similarly, ये इससे कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. Similarly, this can communicate with this. This can communicate with this. Okay. This can communicate with this also. Okay. So this type of configuration is this key. All can communicate with each other. Okay. So this type of networking is known as mesh network. Okay. So suppose there's in waiting room. So suppose 3 VSATs are there. This is hub. Okay, these are VSATs. Okay. So what will happen? Ki this can communicate with each other. Okay. This can communicate with each other. This can communicate with each other. Okay. So they can communicate with each other. Okay. But they are controlled by the hub station. Okay. So communication, ये communication networks हो गए. But it is all through VSAT, all through satellite only. They can't communicate with each other without satellite. So this is communication channel via satellite. ठीक है. सैटेलाइट से ही बात कर सकते हैं, आपस में नहीं कर सकते हैं कि कोई टेरेस्ट्रियल कनेक्शन नहीं है. Okay. But the function of this hub station is to control all. Okay, ये हो गया. They have to control all. ठीक है. Green इसको control करेगा, this hub station को, this hub station को. So these are the control channels. Okay, control channels via satellite. ठीक है. So this is mesh connection. ठीक है. So mesh का advantage है कि mesh connection में the VSAT channel can also communicate with each other. But the communication is done through satellite, and the function of hub station is to control the functioning of all the VSATs. ठीक है. So when a VSAT want to communicate with other VSAT, then it has to communicate with hub first. So hub know what is going on, and it can control the function of all the hubs. Okay. So if we talk about the frequency bands, so we are in VSAT generally C band and Q bands are used. So C band may we know the transmission frequency is approximately 6 gigahertz, nearby 6 gigahertz, and received frequency is 4 gigahertz. So transmission took place at 850 megahertz. Similarly 6425 megahertz इस तरीके से ये communication, ठीक है. So now VSAT elements. Okay. Next is VSAT elements. Okay. So VSAT system has three things. One is VSAT earth stations. In VSAT earth station also there is internal unit and there is external unit. Then it has internal and external means internal when it is a star connection. Suppose VSAT network is deployed with the star connection only. So every channel has no requirement of placing a transmitter section because the hub cannot communicate with each other. So there is no requirement of placing a transmission channel. Similarly, when it is in mesh connection, then we require different type of configuration. Okay, so basically VSAT system comprises of hub station and a large number of VSATs. So VSAT may be ranging from few hundred to several hundred and a satellite. So this VSAT system. So there are three elements. One is your hub station. Okay. Second is large number of VSATs. Okay. It may be 100 to several thousand हो सकता है. Maybe several thousand you can write, 1,000 or 10,000 or more than that also. Okay. So the bandwidth that is required for VSAT to communicate with each other, they also need, that depends upon the what are the network configuration, whether it is mesh or it is a star connection, and the number of terminals used. जितना ज़्यादा terminal होगा उतना ज़्यादा bandwidth की requirement होगी. Okay. So the first is VSAT terminal. Okay. So first part is large number of, and the third is satellite. Okay. These are the part of the VSAT system. Okay. So first is VSAT terminal. Take a large number of VSATs, so VSAT terminals. Okay. So VSAT terminal may basically there is indoor unit and there is outdoor unit. Okay. So it is a compact earth station. So on the application of this key, whether we are using to receive it for the receiving of signal only, or we are using it for the receiving and transmission of signal. So if only it is used for the receiving purpose, then only the receive equipment is required. And there is no requirement of the transmission equipment. Okay. And in some places both are required. Okay. So this terminal can be split into two parts. One is indoor unit, which is placed inside the premises, and the outdoor unit, which is placed outside the premises, generally on the rooftop. Okay. So we said terminal has two parts. One is indoor unit and other is outdoor unit. Okay. So one is indoor unit. Okay, which is placed inside the premises. Another is outdoor unit. Okay. So next is outdoor unit. Okay, and this is connected with the inter-facility link. Okay, and this is user interface. Okay, and outdoor unit is connected to the antenna with the feed wire. Okay, this is antenna. This is feed wire. Feed, generally we can represent it an antenna. Okay, so this is a VSAT user equipment. Okay, so this VSAT user terminal is divided into two parts. One is the indoor unit and outdoor unit. Outdoor unit is generally placed at the rooftop. Okay, the antenna is part of outdoor unit. The RF subsystem of the receiver and transmitter are placed close to the antenna feed. Generally closely हम सभी चीज चाहे आपका टीवी नेटवर्क हो चाहे जो भी हो closely place करना चाहिए so that there is less loss through the wire. ठीक है?